It was a humid, sunlit morning in Tallahassee, Florida, 1987. The city buzzed with the energy of students and government workers, the streets alive with the scent of orange blossoms and the distant hum of traffic. Among the residents, Marina Delgado, 24, was preparing for her day as a dedicated early childhood educator at the Tallahassee Learning Center. Marina was known for her patience, creativity, and the ability to make every child feel important. Her classroom was filled with vibrant colors, handmade projects, and a sense of warmth that reflected her own personality. Families and colleagues admired her dedication, noting the joy she brought to learning and her capacity to inspire curiosity and confidence in the children under her care. Outside the classroom, Marina led a life full of simple pleasures. She enjoyed visiting local art galleries, kayaking along nearby rivers, and volunteering with community youth programs. Her small apartment reflected her creative spirit, adorned with paintings, books, and personal mementos from her students and friends. She nurtured her community as much as she did her classroom, and her presence was quietly influential. On June 10, 1987, Marina had planned to visit the Tallahassee Public Library to finalize materials for an upcoming educational program. She carried a notebook, teaching aids, and a small tote containing her work documents. Her plans were routine yet purposeful, reflecting the structured and positive approach she applied to both her work and personal life. By late afternoon, Marina had not returned home. Her roommate, Vanessa Torres, contacted her family. Concerned, Marina's parents, Javier and Elena Delgado, and her younger brother, Luis Delgado, went to her apartment. Everything appeared orderly. Her notebook lay open on the dining table, teaching materials neatly arranged and personal items untouched. Yet her absence was unmistakable, casting a quiet tension over the space that had always been warm and lively. Police from the Tallahassee Police Department, led by Detective Marissa Cole, were dispatched to investigate. Initial observations revealed no signs of forced entry or disturbance. Investigators canvassed the neighborhood, spoke with library staff, local cafe employees, and reviewed surveillance footage where available. Volunteers and community members joined in distributing flyers and sharing details about Marina's routine, emphasizing hope and support. Witness statements provided limited clarity. Marina's structured lifestyle, calm demeanor, and positive reputation meant there were no known conflicts or disputes that could explain her absence. Yet the community's concern remained high. Local parents, students, and colleagues organized search efforts, creating a supportive network determined to ensure her safe return. Weeks passed without a definitive lead. Detective Cole's team reviewed archival footage, photographs, and interviews with friends and coworkers. Every detail, no matter how minor, was meticulously documented. The investigation focused not on speculation but on facts, tracing Marina's last known movements and interactions. By 1988, the case had transitioned into a monitored cold case. Key evidence, including Marina's notebook, teaching materials, and personal belongings, was carefully preserved. Community programs in her honor began to emerge. The Marina Delgado Educational Fund provided scholarships, art workshops, and mentorship opportunities for children, ensuring her dedication to learning and community continued despite the unresolved investigation. Over the following years, forensic technology evolved. Items preserved from Marina's last day were periodically re-examined. DNA analysis, fingerprint comparison, and environmental sampling became increasingly sophisticated, offering new avenues for investigation that had not existed in 1987. Detective Cole retired in 2000, passing the case to Detective Nathaniel Rivera, renowned for his dedication to long-term cold cases. Rivera prioritized a meticulous review of all evidence, emphasizing the importance of preserving Marina's legacy and community trust while pursuing leads. By 2010, previously overlooked details emerged from archival records, library visitor logs, minor transactions, and notes in Marina's teaching notebook. These forgotten records indicated interactions that had not been fully explored. One librarian, Patricia Monroe, who had been present on the day Marina visited the library, recalled subtle events that helped clarify her movements and interactions. Through careful reconstruction, investigators charted Marina's route from her apartment to the library, noting subtle patterns and environmental traces. Combined with modern forensic techniques, these small but critical details began to form a clearer picture of her day and potential interactions. Community initiatives remained central. Schools implemented programs inspired by Marina's teaching methods. Literacy workshops encouraged creativity, and volunteer organizations expanded mentorship programs for youth. The focus remained on positive impact and remembrance, celebrating her life rather than dwelling on uncertainty. By 2015, DNA analysis of preserved materials revealed minute traces that had previously been undetectable. When cross-referenced with archived records, these traces suggested contact with a local individual who had not been previously considered. Damon Caldwell, a contractor and occasional volunteer at community programs near the library and learning center. Detective Rivera approached the investigation with care. Employment records, neighborhood logs, and community recollections allowed the team to reconstruct Caldwell's presence during the relevant period. Each observation, testimonial, and piece of forensic evidence was carefully documented to maintain ethical integrity and respect for Marina's memory. By 2017, environmental samples, fingerprints, and trace evidence from Marina's preserved items confirmed subtle connections to Caldwell. Each detail strengthened the case, forming a verifiable chain of evidence. Investigators coordinated structured interviews with Caldwell, emphasizing transparency, ethical procedure, and professional conduct. Initially cautious, Caldwell gradually acknowledged interactions with Marina on the day of her visit to the library, clarifying previously ambiguous details and helping investigators reconstruct a more complete timeline. By mid-2018, the investigation had assembled a comprehensive timeline. Archival records, forensic evidence, and witness testimony combined to create a coherent narrative. Every movement, interaction, and preserved artifact contributed to understanding events that had remained unresolved for over 3 decades. The community continued to honor Marina's legacy through ongoing educational programs. Schools and libraries expanded arts and literacy initiatives, volunteer mentorships flourished, and public workshops highlighted her dedication to nurturing creativity, learning, and growth. Her influence remained a source of inspiration as investigators worked toward resolution. By early 2019, the groundwork for legal action was being prepared. DNA evidence, fingerprints, and corroborated testimony formed a strong evidentiary foundation. Detective Rivera coordinated with prosecutors to ensure a clear, ethical, and verifiable case, emphasizing the importance of honoring Marina's memory throughout the process. By late 2019, Detective Nathaniel Rivera and his team had meticulously reconstructed Damon Caldwell's presence near key locations in Tallahassee during 1987. Employment records, neighborhood logs, and archival documents indicated his temporary work assignments near the Tallahassee Learning Center and surrounding areas. These records, combined with testimonies from former colleagues and neighbors, allowed investigators to track his movements in detail. Community members who had known Caldwell described him as a quiet, orderly individual, diligent in his work and polite in his interactions. While there had been no documented conflict or concern at the time, subtle patterns emerged from overlapping timelines and corroborated eyewitness observations. Each piece of information contributed to the larger reconstruction of events, aligning with the preserved forensic evidence. Sophia's preserved belongings, including her notebook, teaching aids, and tote bag, became central to the investigation. Advanced forensic testing revealed fingerprints and trace fibers linking Caldwell to her possessions. Environmental samples from the Learning Center and library reinforced the timeline, creating a cohesive picture that connected the preserved materials to actual events. Community engagement continued to play a vital role. Schools and volunteer programs expanded educational and arts initiatives inspired by Marina Delgado's teaching. Local libraries hosted creative workshops and youth mentorship programs flourished. The emphasis remained on celebrating her life and positive influence, reinforcing a legacy of growth, creativity, and mentorship alongside the ongoing investigation. By early 2020, forensic breakthroughs provided additional clarity. DNA traces, previously undetectable in the 1980s, were now identifiable. Fingerprints matched archival records, and environmental traces confirmed Caldwell's presence near areas Marina had frequented. The combination of modern forensic science, archival investigation, and careful witness interviews formed a compelling evidentiary framework. Detective Rivera coordinated structured interviews with Caldwell, ensuring legal and ethical standards were strictly maintained. Initially cautious, Caldwell gradually disclosed information regarding interactions with Marina on the day she visited the library. His statements helped clarify previously ambiguous points, providing investigators with the final pieces of the puzzle needed to complete the reconstructed timeline. By mid-2020, the investigation team had verified a comprehensive narrative of Marina's last day. Every movement, interaction, and artifact, from preserved teaching materials to archival visitor logs, contributed to a detailed and accurate reconstruction of events. Each element reinforced the others, forming a verifiable, ethical, and complete chain of evidence. With the case clarified, Detective Rivera began coordinating with prosecutors to prepare for legal action. All evidence, from forensic traces to witness statements, was documented and reviewed to ensure integrity and accuracy. The preparation focused on clarity, respect for Marina's legacy, and transparency in every step of the process. The arrest operation was carefully planned for early 2021. Law enforcement officials coordinated with local authorities, emphasizing procedural integrity and respect for all parties. The operation aimed to present clarity and resolution, avoiding sensationalism while ensuring the safety and dignity of the community. In March 2021, Damon Caldwell was taken into custody. He was informed of the evidence against him, including DNA matches, fingerprints, and documented admissions. Law enforcement conducted the arrest professionally, emphasizing clarity, respect, and the ethical handling of all details. The focus remained on resolving the long-standing mystery while honoring Marina's life and legacy. Following the arrest, the case file was meticulously organized for prosecution. Every piece of evidence, from forensic material to archival documentation and witness testimony, was cataloged and verified. The Harper family, schools, and community organizations continued to emphasize Marina Delgado's positive impact through educational programs, mentorship workshops, and community outreach initiatives. Detective Rivera reflected on the significance of the investigation. Decades of patient, methodical work, combined with advances in forensic technology and careful archival research, allowed truth to emerge after more than 30 years. The ethical approach maintained throughout the process ensured that Marina's life remained central to the investigation, inspiring both resolution and celebration. By mid-2021, the prosecution team had prepared a comprehensive case. DNA evidence, fingerprints, environmental traces, and Caldwell's own statements formed a robust evidentiary framework. Schools, libraries, and community programs collaborated to honor Marina's legacy, focusing on education, creativity, and mentorship. Her life remained the guiding narrative, even as legal proceedings moved forward. Community programs continued to grow. Scholarships in Marina's name provided opportunities for children pursuing arts and educational endeavors. Volunteer mentorship initiatives encouraged youth to explore creativity and learning, reflecting her values. and extending her influence well beyond her lifetime. Local art exhibitions and library workshops ensured that Marina's presence was felt in daily life, inspiring new generations to embrace curiosity and creativity. By early 2022, trial preparations were complete. Every detail, from forensic verification to archival documentation and community witness testimony, had been reviewed. Prosecutors emphasized the importance of a clear, accurate, and respectful presentation of events. Detective Rivera worked alongside legal teams to ensure the case maintained its ethical foundation and focus on Marina's life and positive impact. The community's ongoing programs, scholarships, and mentorship initiatives reinforced Marina's legacy as the trial approached. Schools and libraries reported increased participation in creative programs inspired by her work, and volunteers highlighted her example in youth mentorship. Her dedication to education and personal growth remained the central story, guiding both the trial and public awareness. By mid-2022, the case was ready for the courtroom. Every movement, interaction, and preserved artifact had been verified and documented. The combination of forensic breakthroughs, archival records, and community engagement provided a strong foundation for trial, demonstrating how ethical investigation and persistence could resolve long-standing mysteries. By early 2023, the trial of Damon Caldwell had begun, drawing attention not for sensationalism, but for the inspiring story of Marina Delgado, a dedicated educator whose life had touched countless children and whose commitment to learning and mentorship had left an indelible mark on Tallahassee Detective Nathaniel Rivera and the prosecution team meticulously prepared the case, presenting decades of forensic evidence, archival documentation, and verified witness statements. DNA analysis, fingerprint verification, and environmental traces were all included in a clear, ethical narrative that highlighted Marina's life and positive influence. The Delgado family, Javier, Elena, and Luis Delgado, attended each session with quiet strength. They shared heartfelt memories of Marina, her creativity, patience, and ability to inspire curiosity and joy in every child she taught. Colleagues, friends, and former students provided testimony about her contributions, emphasizing her influence on both education and the community at large. Prosecutors presented the case with clarity, focusing on verified evidence and a reconstructed timeline of Marina's last day. Caldwell's own admissions, corroborated by forensic breakthroughs, provided the final piece of a story that had remained unresolved for over 3 decades. Detective Rivera emphasized the importance of ethical investigation, patience, and careful preservation of evidence, highlighting the value of methodical work and community cooperation. Outside the courtroom, the Tallahassee community celebrated Marina's life. Schools expanded arts and literacy programs inspired by her teaching methods. Libraries hosted workshops and creative events, and mentorship initiatives flourished. Public programs focused on inspiration, creativity, and positive engagement, transforming decades of uncertainty into an enduring legacy of impact and learning. By mid-2023, the trial concluded successfully. Caldwell's admissions, verified through robust forensic evidence, provided closure for the Delgado family and clarity for the community. The case became an example of persistence, ethical investigation, and the power of modern forensic science to resolve long-standing mysteries while honoring the life and legacy of the individual involved. Throughout the proceedings, the Delgado family emphasized remembrance and celebration. They expanded the Marina Delgado Educational and Arts Fund, offering scholarships and volunteer opportunities for children interested in creativity, education, and mentorship. Community workshops, student art exhibitions, and literacy initiatives reflected Marina's values, ensuring that her influence continued to grow. Annual events celebrated Marina's life. Libraries hosted student exhibitions inspired by her teaching, schools organized creative workshops, and community centers facilitated mentorship programs. Each initiative highlighted her dedication, creativity, and nurturing spirit, creating a tangible, ongoing tribute to her positive influence. Detective Rivera reflected on the broader significance of the investigation. This case demonstrates that careful preservation, patience, and ethical procedures can uncover truth even decades later. Most importantly, we honored Marina's life every step of the way. Her story guided the investigation. Schools and community organizations reported increased participation in programs inspired by Marina. Children engaged in art projects, literacy workshops, and mentorship initiatives, developing skills and confidence while learning the values she had championed. Volunteers and educators cited her example as a guiding principle, reinforcing her positive influence across multiple generations. By late 2023, Marina Delgado's presence was felt throughout Tallahassee. Programs in her honor provided opportunities for children to explore creativity, mentorship, and personal growth. Libraries, schools, and community centers became spaces where her philosophy and dedication could continue to thrive. The Delgado family, relieved by the legal resolution, focused on sustaining and expanding programs reflecting Marina's values. Scholarships, mentorship initiatives, and educational workshops became permanent programs, ensuring her influence endured. Volunteers and educators used her example to guide youth programs, preserving her dedication to nurturing curiosity and creativity. By early 2024, the community had fully embraced Marina Delgado's legacy. Schools reported thriving participation in creative programs, libraries hosted ongoing exhibitions and workshops, and volunteer mentorship initiatives had expanded citywide. Her life served as a model of positive impact, demonstrating that dedication, creativity, and compassion could leave an enduring imprint. The resolution of the cold case marked not an end, but a continuation of Marina Delgado's influence. Through educational initiatives, mentorship programs, and community outreach, her life continued to guide, inspire, and transform. Tallahassee had transformed decades of uncertainty into an enduring story of hope, creativity, and positive legacy. Marina Delgado's story became a beacon for communities facing unresolved challenges. It illustrated how careful investigation, ethical practices, and modern forensic technology could provide clarity, while simultaneously honoring the values and legacy of the person at the center of the case. By mid-2024, students, volunteers, and community leaders continued to reflect on her life. Programs inspired by her teaching and mentorship reached hundreds of children, instilling creativity, curiosity, and confidence. Her influence extended beyond classrooms into the heart of the community, leaving a permanent legacy of inspiration and positive action. The Florida 1987 cold case had finally reached resolution, yet Marina Delgado's story continued to thrive. Her creativity, dedication, and nurturing spirit left an indelible mark on Tallahassee. Through community programs, mentorship initiatives, and educational opportunities, her legacy lived on, a reminder that a single life lived with purpose could inspire countless others and leave a lasting positive impact on the world.